Before you write a paper, you have to plan out what you're going to write. So first of all, you assess the writing situation. Begin by taking a look at your writing situation. Consider your subject, your purpose, your audience, available sources of information, and any assignment requirements, such as genre, length, document design, and deadlines. And when you plan your paper, you have to figure out what is the purpose of your writing. In many writing situations, part of your challenge will be determining your purpose or reason for writing. The wording of an assignment may suggest its purpose. If no guidelines are given, you may need to ask yourself, what is my goal, or what do I want to accomplish? Identify which one of more of the following aims you hope to accomplish. So when you write your paper, what is your purpose? Do you want to inform, explain, summarize, persuade, argue, evaluate, analyze, synthesize, propose, call readers to action, or to reflect? Take time to consider readers and their expectations. Who will be reading your draft? What is your relationship to your readers? What information will your audience need to understand your ideas? The choices you make as you write will tell readers who you think they are, novices or experts, for example, and will show respect for your readers' values and perspectives. Note, when you write an email message to an instructor, a classmate, or a potential employer, respect your audience by using a concise, meaningful subject line, keeping paragraphs brief and focused, proofreading for errors, and paying attention to your tone. Don't write something you wouldn't feel comfortable saying directly to your reader. Also, if you include someone else's words, let your reader know the source. Finally, avoid forwarding another person's message without permission. Genre. Pay close attention to the genre or type of writing assigned. Each genre is a category of writing meant for a specific purpose and audience. An essay in a writing class, a lab report, or research proposal in a biology class, a policy memo in a criminal justice class, or a case study for an education class. Often, the genre is assigned, but sometimes the genre is yours to choose. In addition, you may need to decide which delivery format will best help you communicate your purpose and reach readers. For example, traditional written paragraphs, presentation slides, or a podcast for your argument essay. Seeking out examples of writing in the genre in which you are composing is often helpful. Checklist for assessing the writing situation. Has the subject been assigned, or are you free to choose your own? Why is your subject worth writing about? What questions would you like to explore? Do you need to narrow your subject to a more specific topic? Purpose and audience. Why are you writing? To inform readers, to persuade them, to call them to action. Who are your readers? How well informed are they about the subject? Will your readers resist any of your ideas? What objections might you need to anticipate and counter? What genre or type of writing does your assignment require? A report, a proposal, an analysis of data, an essay? What are the expectations of your assigned genre? For instance, what type of evidence is typically used in the genre? Does the genre require a specific format or organization? Sources of information. Where will your information come from? Reading, research, direct observation, interviews, questionnaires. What type of evidence suits your subject, purpose, audience, and genre? What documentation style is required? Do you have length specifications? What format is required? What are your deadlines? What counts as good writing varies from culture to culture. In some situations, you will need to become familiar with the writing styles, such as direct or indirect, personal or impersonal, plain or embellished, that are valued by the culture for which you are writing. Explore your subject. Experiment with one or more techniques for exploring your subject and discovering your purpose. Talking and listening, reading and annotating. Whatever technique you turn to, the goal is the same: to generate ideas that will lead you to a question or topic you want to explore further. Talking about your ideas can help you develop them before you begin to write it down. Reading is an important way to deepen your understanding of a topic, learn from the insights and research of others, and expand your perspective. Asking questions is another productive way to get started on a piece of writing. You might try asking questions like who, what, when, where, and how. Brainstorming and free writing are good ways to figure out what you know and what questions you have. Write in a list, whatever comes to mind, without pausing to think about word choice, spelling, or whatever. The goal is to write quickly and freely to discover what questions are on your mind and what directions you might pursue. Keeping a journal. A journal is a collection of informal or experimental writing. In a journal, often meant for your eyes only, you can take risks. You might free write, pose questions, comment on an interesting idea from one of your classes, or keep a list of questions that occur to you while reading. You might imagine a conversation between yourself and your readers, or stage a debate to understand opposing positions. Also, you could keep a blog. A blog is a public writing space. In a blog, you can explore an idea for a paper by writing posts from different angles. Draft and revise a working thesis statement. For many types of writing, you will be able to assert your central idea in a sentence or two. An effective thesis states a position that needs to be explained and supported, uses concrete language, be appropriate, not too narrow, not too broad, and you can stand up to the "so what" test. Whether your thesis is an answer to a question you have asked or a resolution of a problem you have identified, it should be sharply focused. It should be a sharply focused statement that announces your position on a debatable topic. As you explore your topic, try to settle on one idea for your thesis. You can always start with a thesis question. Should athletes who enhance their performance through biotechnology be banned from athletic competition? And then the answer to the research question will become your thesis statement. Athletes who boost their performance through biotechnology should be banned from athletic competition. And then you have to say, well, why? And then you would say, because biotechnology gives athletes an unfair advantage and disrupts the sense of play. So when you write a thesis, you have to have the topic, the opinion, and the reason in order to have an effective thesis. And it's okay to change up your thesis as you do your research. And so revising your thesis as you do your research is totally natural. Putting your thesis to the "so what" test. Use the following questions to help you revise your working thesis. Why should readers want to read an essay with this thesis? How would you respond to a reader who hears this thesis and asks, "So what? Why does it matter?" Will any reader disagree with the thesis? If so, how might you revise in response? Is the thesis too obvious? If you cannot come up with an interpretation that opposes your own, consider revising your thesis. Can you support your thesis with the evidence available? And then the 5 common problems with thesis statements is that you should avoid a thesis statement that's simply a statement of fact. Never have a thesis statement that's a question. Your thesis statement has to always be one sentence. Your thesis statement is too broad, so that means that you are missing your reasons. Your thesis statement is too narrow, or the thesis statement is too vague. So as long as you follow the topic, opinion, and reasons, your thesis will be neither too vague, too narrow, or too broad. And so here, by the time you finish having a thesis statement, you should have an informal outline of your paper: topic, opinion, reasons. And so having an outline, you might want to sketch an informal outline to see how you will support your thesis, to figure out a tentative structure for your ideas. Informal outlines take many forms. And so here's an example of an informal outline. And then after you have your informal outline, then you write your formal outline. And your formal outline will look something like this, in which you have the main central idea, and that's the main idea, which is your thesis. And then you have your 3 reasons, or your supporting ideas, in the part 1, 2, and 3. And then you have your conclusion. So that's how you start or plan a paper.